This is a virtual tour for one of my insurance office clients that's looking in the Southeast market, actually, or the south side of Houston. General range is between 700 to, I say, 2,000 square feet. So we're going to look at a few things here that I think are relevant and just kind of give a brief market overview. So first thing I'm going to do is this part of town in Houston, as far as office space goes, is limited on the amount of product that's available. And so there's not many options to choose from. So we're going to kind of look from a broad-based approach. First thing I want to do is let me go ahead and include everything from 288 here in 610 all the way down to 45 in the Beltway. This gives a really wide swath that we can take a look at and just make sure that we're comprehensive. So when we look at these options here, overall we have about 19 different properties that are available in the 700 to 2,000 square foot range. And so let me take out the trash. There's some stuff here that people list that really should not be here, and you can generally tell because they don't even take the time to put in pictures for it. And this is an example. It's a creative loft suite. That you really have no idea what type of property this is. I can look into it, but 9 times out of 10, it's not something that works, and it requires further research before we can make a decision. But let me start with the top. The Office City building here at 1650 square foot is, in my opinion, on a little bit of the higher side of the market. Let me open up a window here so we can see what it looks like. So obviously HCC resides here. It's a small Class C property at 1650. Even Class C is trying to creep up a little bit, but that's where these guys are. Just a point of reference. The Palm Center. Now this is where a lot of people, if I'm not mistaken, still go vote. Actually, I think this is a voting area, and there are a lot of government facilities here. For insurance, could be helpful because there's a lot of traffic. So I like this area. $12 to $18 a foot is really, really broad here, and that's generally because it's a triple net cost. So it is going to be more expensive than an office space, but let's take a look. And I definitely think it's worth a look and to see if it's worth the price. But for insurance purposes, tons of traffic go through here during voting. I mean, there's literally thousands and thousands of people that pass through this parking lot. Is it worth the extra cost? I don't know. It's up to your business, but let's talk about it. Fuquay Professional Center. This one's 12 bucks a foot. Let's get more details on this one. And this is plus triple net cost. If I had to choose, I'd go with the other property. Not saying anything's negative about this one here. There's a State Farm Insurance FYI here already. But if you're going to pay that price point, then I'd rather be in the Palm Center. If you're going to pay close to the same amount of rent, this has more traffic and more traffic that I think you would benefit from. Airport Service Park. This is an office park, which is usually in an industrial area. So all that means is in an industrial park like this, you're going to have office space, and there's going to be warehouse space that's usually attached. Sometimes it's just office, but they're usually pretty affordable. If you want to look at this, the curb appeal is kind of lacking. It's not the same as office space, and the parking is not as abundant as office space. But if you want to look for point of reference, definitely we want to use this. But as far as an option for you, I don't know if I would necessarily look at that seriously. 8031 Airport Boulevard. This is one that I do like, and I think that is worth a tour to consider. So, I think the building has been well maintained. It's comparable to where you are now. It's a smaller property, so the traffic won't be as high. But if the rents can be competitive, then I think it's something to talk about. Southport Shopping Center. I don't think that plus triple net's just too high. I don't think it's worth it. But if you want to look at it, let me know. Featherwood, here's another office building here. Now, it doesn't say the rental rates here, but I think it's about $14 a foot. This would be another property that I think it would be wise to tour. Okay, so Southeast Professional Building. This one here, I think there's a lot of medical use. Here, the rent's a little bit higher than I would really recommend. I wouldn't recommend this property either. Let me take off the ones that I say no, would not work really. The shopping center would be too expensive. The rest of them I'll let you just look at. The Office City building here at 1650 a foot. You know, again, they're pushing it. There are more affordable options in the marketplace, and this looks dated. So I wouldn't recommend that you tour. I think you're in a building now that's competitive to this, and just doesn't look like it would be a move up for you. Scarsdale is medical office. I would scratch this out. It's very expensive also at 18 bucks a foot. Featherwood, this one's at 20 bucks a foot. This is more expensive than you want as well. I would not want to. It's a Class A property. That's not in the parameters that you mentioned for me. This building here is an interesting deal. Let me open this up so you can see a bigger window. The owner of this property is looking at potentially just scraping the first floor if you want. There's a spot on the second floor that does bilingual tutoring. So as far as a Hispanic, an African American, or Hispanic and immigrant demographic, it's great. You get great signage. You got great parking here, and the owner's looking to sell. This may be something that you may want to just purchase and lease out the rest. Something to consider. Something for your investors to consider too. So I definitely encourage you to take a look at that on tour. This professional building at 19 bucks a foot, that's just too high. This one at 20 is too high as well. And the rest of these here, these are my two favorite from this list, 8876 and 8866. This property here at 14 bucks a foot, it's a great value play in the market for what you want to do. It's very competitive, and it's something that I think we should definitely look into. At 8866, it's the same thing. They're both similar buildings. They're right next to each other. Those are the ones that would be my two that I would use as leverage. And of course, 12941 at 20 bucks a foot is just not in the league that we want to consider. So I'm pretty much showing you my top picks here. Take a look at this. I'm sending you the report right now. Let me know what you think, and I'm looking forward to your feedback.